This is section 3-9. So we've been doing this since 6th grade, so I'm going to go very quickly and not really go through all of the PowerPoint. This is proportions. So when I have two quantities that are equal to each other, two ratios that are equivalent, I can multiply the extremes, the AD is called the extremes, by the means. I'm not necessarily interested in you having to remember those words, but you can remember that they are cross products. Okay, so I multiply the B times the D, and the B times the C and the D times the A. And that should be an equivalent statement. Now, on number 1, I know there's an easier way to solve this, because we're really used to just going across and saying 5 times what is 4? 20. Well, that's 4, so 3 times 4 has got to be 12, right? But that's not helping us to learn our process. So the process is I use my cross products, and I multiply 20 times 3, and I get 60. Notice I bring it right down. I go from bottom to top and bring it down that same side. And then I go from 5 to times x is 5x. And again, remember I'm going in this direction. Bottom to top, then bring it down. Bottom to top, then bring it down. You don't need to write those arrows, but that's just showing you the directionality. And now what would I do to solve it and get it all alone? Isolate my variable, figure out the value. William?
Divide 60 by 5.
Property of equality. Can you say it in a way that shows?
Divide both sides by 5.
Perfect. Dividing both sides of the equation by 5. And what I get is 60 by 5 is 12, and 5 divided by 5 is 1x. And there's our solution. Okay, questions? Are you guys remembering this?
Yeah.
Yes, Hannah. Oh, sorry, Peyton.
Would it be wrong if you put 3 times 20 equals 5x and then divided by 60?
No, but we usually put it down on the side. That's just common. And you put 5x equals 60? No, but it just usually goes in that path. Okay, like you'll see it. I go from bottom to top, and then I go in this direction. Notice that 5x is going to come down. Go from bottom to top, and then it comes down. Does that make sense? All right. So now let's go on to, let's try it with variables. What would I need to do? Paul, what do I do here? Yep. I always start from, so I'm writing on the left first. Perfect. 30 times 2x is, in fact, I'm just going to write it like that. Equals, what'd you say? Yep. 3 times 5. See how I just go that way, Peyton? All right, so I get 60x equals 15. And now what would I do? Rogelio,
Divide by 15, both sides.
what do you want to get alone?
X, so divide 60 by both sides.
Both sides by 60. And this is where a lot of people, like, you just went really fast and you weren't taking your time. And now this can be reduced. 15 goes into 15. And 4 times, so it's 1 over 4. Why don't you pause the recording and try number 2 on your own. Okay. Well, we're going to help you get unstuck. Okay, now Michelle's going to solve this for us. Okay, what do I do?
You're going to multiply 3 by 2x plus 1.
Good. Just like the I'm going to do it like in the, what do I call that? What's that called? I'm going to just distribute that 3 to everything. Is equal to?
6x plus 3.
Okay, but is equal to first. What else am I setting it equal to on the other side?
Oh, is equal to 20.
20. Then I do my distributing in the next step.
You get 6x plus 3.
Equals
20.
20. Oops. And now what am I doing?
You're going to subtract 3 from both sides.
And we get?
You get 6x equals 17.
6x equals 17. Divide both sides by 6. And x is equal to, we like you to leave this as an improper fraction. Reduced improper. Okay. I'm going to skip over this. Okay. Word problems. Word problems. Let's look at the pattern for proportional word problems. Oops. Let's look at the pattern. What do we have in this equation? What are the important parts of this word problem? Michael.
Well, the numbers.
Specifically, I'm underlining things. What am I underlining, Rogelio?
6 cups.
6 cups.
54 cookies.
Okay, 6 cups. 6 cups. I'm going to do 6 cups of flour. 54 cookies, you said?
And then 10 cups.
Okay. But there's one more thing that's really important here. What is that, Michael?
How many cookies?
How many cookies? Because that tells me what my unknown is. So what am I going to define x as? Yes.
The amount of cookies.
Cookies. Okay. So when I have 3 out of 4 items, I can set this up like a proportion. And it doesn't matter how you set the proportion up, you just have to be consistent. You can set it up flour to cookies or cookies to flour. Okay? So on the first one, the first piece of information they gave me is what? Rogelio? 6 cups of flour. And how many cookies? 54. Is equal to the second time, how much flour do I need to make the second batch of cookies they're talking about? Michael?
10 cups.
10 cups. And I don't know how many 10 cups makes. So everything in the numerator all the way across, the word, the 6, the 10 represents flour. Everything in the denominator, the cookies, the 54, the x, represents the cookies. I cross multiply, I get 540 equals 6x. Divide by 6, and x is equal to 90. Now, if I do it the other way, the first time, what am I setting up? What information, Sargis?
You're setting up the 6 over 54 again?
Nope. Absolutely not. I do not have 6 cookies. What goes in the numerator has to do with the information given. Sargis.
You have to do 6 divided by 54.
No. How do I set this up as a proportion? Yes.
Oh, okay. So if you wanted to check your work, or
No, I'm doing this completely, but I'm setting my proportion up. Cookies in the numerator to flour in the denominator.
what you would do is you have 54 cookies over,
And I would set it up to 6 cups of flour.
and then that would be equal to x over x amount of cookies.
An unknown amount of cookies over 10 cups. So everything, one more time, Sargis. This is how you're setting up a proportion. Everything in the numerator all the way across. I want you to use the word. Start with setting it up by words and keep it consistent all the way across. And now as I cross multiply, I get this. Notice how this and this is the same. It's just backwards. Divide by 6, and x is equal to 90. Now the last piece of this is 90 what? Take it back to the story. Take it back to the how many. Give me a complete sentence. Sargis.
I have a lot of cookies. I have 90 cookies.
There are 90 cookies. 10 cups of flour can make 90. I don't want to hear something there are a lot of cookies. I wouldn't give you credit for that. Our word problems are going to get more and more. And that is the end of the lesson. If you want to do a practice problem, pause the recording at the next. Oops. Let me put this practice problem up. It's just stuck. And pause the recording, whoops, and do the widget problem. Now check your work. And that's the end of the lesson.